It's time for another sweet craving.
Italiano style.
It's dusted with this beautiful chocolate.
Oh, upon layer and layer of creamy deliciousness.
Oh, trust us, with one bite, you're going to be screaming, Amore!
Amore! That's right. Love, love, love.
I love. Anyway, I'm Chris.
And I'm Wesley.
My Amore Loon.
Oh.
I don't know why I did that. Anyway, we're making tiramisu.
Tiramisu.
Me so happy. It's just going to be so delicious. We pronounced it wrong for years, and I'm sure we still say it wrong. But anyway, it's such a handful of ingredients. Just a handful of ingredients.
Simple ingredients.
You bring them together, and again, leave it to the Italians to come up with something so delicious.
Totally.
Okay, so I'm going to get going. So I've got 6 egg yolks right here. Now we're going to talk about these eggs in just a moment. But I've got my little handy hand mixer that I've had since I was like 7.
That mixer has been around as long as I've been around.
And that's a long time.
Like 30 years you've had that
I
thing.
know. Now I'm adding in, this is a half a cup of sugar. My Duncan's got this on a medium mix right here. You could also do this in a stand mixer. You could, any kind of a mixer you've got, any kind of an electric mixer.
Come back over here if you want to.
Okay, so now we're gonna make it a party, and we are adding some liquor.
Uh-oh.
And we have got, that is 4 tablespoons of Amaretto, which I'm sure you know, that's an Italian liqueur.
It's an almond flavor to
Yes,
it.
it's super delicious.
Now, they don't have to nobody has to use liquor if they don't want to.
No, and let me just stop this for a second. So you just want to make sure you get all your sugar completely dissolved and it's fully combined. No, on that, lots of people use different types of liquor if you want to booze it up a little bit. You can do Kahlua, you can do dark rum, you can do Marsala wine, that's very Italian, or you can just leave it out. But just remember who you're serving it to. So if you do have alcohol in here, don't serve it to the kiddos or someone who shouldn't be having alcohol.
You could use like almond or vanilla extract, like a combination of the two.
Exactly.
Ooh,
now
delicious.
it would be delicious. Now let me talk about this again. So we're going to here. You want to do that?
I just want to keep you in focus.
Okay, thanks. Do your best to keep me focused.
I want to keep you focused.
So we've got Wesley is going to very gingerly put in 1 pound of mascarpone.
Do you want me to be gingerly?
Just dump it in there. Just dump it in there. 1 pound of mascarpone cheese.
There you
it's
go.
really hard to get out of a bowl, apparently. I just wanted to talk a little bit about these eggs. Now, you may be thinking, okay, you're going to cook
I'm
those?
just going to eat this cheese back here.
Okay, yeah, eat the cheese. But you may be thinking, are you going to ever cook these eggs? Well, the traditional style of making tiramisu is that you don't cook them.
Right.
And so the answer to that is if you have concerns about,
Salmonella,
your health or your
like
guest's
that,
health, go with really fresh eggs. The fresher the better, and make sure you get them from a source that you trust, and then you're going to probably be okay. But if
we've made it this way for years,
and
we're okay.
And the egg, well, that's questionable. But you're going to also using egg whites here that we're going to form into stiff peaks and get them in here. There's also pasteurized egg substitute that you can use that's perfectly fine. I'm also going to, in the instructions, explain how some people, when they're doing these steps, they do them over some hot water. There's some debate whether that, if you have a bacteria egg, that's going to kill it in the first place. But we're going way off track.
Yeah,
but anyway,
way off.
You do what you want to do. If you feel like it's not something that you want to do, then just move on to something else, okay?
Don't make tiramisu.
All right, and then just don't make tiramisu. That's the easiest answer to that. So we're going to continue doing this. I'm going to do this for about a total of 3
Can I talk about my ladyfingers?
Those. Yeah, I'm going to do this for about 3 minutes. So tell us all about your ladyfingers.
First of all, that's a sexist name for these cookies. I'm just being funny. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to layer these ladyfingers. These are like an Italian pastry in this right here in this bowl. Once Chris is ready with all the cream, we're going to layer it in the bowl. But we're going to make sure that we can fit. See if we put 2 across here, it wouldn't work. So we have to cut them. So I'm going to cut them so we can get them go like that. There you go.
Yeah, and this may seem like, wow, that's not a real huge dish. It's not. It's only an 8x8. You could use a 9x9. But this recipe, it makes a good, a little of this goes a long way. We're going to have some espresso that we're going to be using here in just a moment. So just a little small servings is all you really need to give people.
Yeah. I'm going to chop that up and eat it.
Okay, well, there we go. Okay, I'm going to do this just a little bit more, and then we're going to come back and we're going to turn some egg whites into stiff peaks.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, isn't that lovely? Oh, it's
That looks great.
creamy. You just want to get it where it has a really, really smooth consistency like this. Okay, so now we're, like I said, it's time to make some stiff peaks.
Let's do it.
So I have got for the egg whites from those yolks. I saved them in a separate bowl, and now I'm going to pull out my trusty, beloved hand mixer here that I've had since 1990.
One of these days we'll get a new one.
I don't know. It's done me good. And I'm going to start to form stiff peaks.
All right.
And this is just do this on high, and this is fun.
While you're forming stiff peaks, I'm going to talk about the espresso. So you need either you can get espresso from your favorite barista, or if you have an espresso maker at home. We actually have one I love. It's like, really, it's not expensive. And I just like to have a cup of espresso every once in a while. Oh, sorry. Oh, shoot, Chris.
Yeah.
I'm too busy talking.
Yeah, well,
So I'm actually pouring this into a wider rimmed bowl so that I have room to, because we're going to soak these, not really soak them. The ladyfingers, we're going to just like quickly dip them in and out of this espresso, and it's easier if you have
a wider.
Yeah.
So as far as that is, if you don't have access to espresso,
right,
freshly brewed,
you can use really strong coffee.
Strong coffee. And obviously, if you're going to go to a Starbucks, you'd have to buy 3 or 4 of them to make this. So, but it's worth it because it's so good. And I was going to say with this, look at these. See how we're forming stiff peaks?
Yay!
So you want it, since it's just a few ingredients, a handful. You want to make sure you're going with good quality. So don't skimp on the espresso.
No, don't skimp on the espresso.
And certainly don't skimp on your ladyfingers. Okay.
There's some stiff peaks.
I'm flinging some stiff peaks, but that's okay. Okay, so delicious. We want to put this on.
Oh, here, give that to me.
Okay.
I'll take care of it.
Okay, all right, while you're doing that, now we're going to just fold these in, and you want to do them kind of gently because these stiff peaks are kind of delicate, and they just add a fluffiness. I do this a lot of time with cake batter. I don't know, it aerates the cream and the mixture, and it makes it really, really heavenly. And you're going to want to do this in stages, like I said, and just continue to just gently work that into the cream until it's fully mixed. Now, you may have seen a recipe or seen people that also incorporate a couple of cups of heavy cream. They whip that cream into it. So, tiramisu, like so many great regional dishes, there are people who are very, very passionate about the way you prepare it, and there's what they call purists, and you would never, according to them, add cream. But I've done it with cream before.
A purist would just be the eggs.
It's just this, yeah. And but I got to say, I've done it before with the cream, and I've had it with the cream, and it does add a nice, just another layer of creaminess, as you would expect. But it's not the purist would tell you, no, that's not the way you do it. So I'm sure I'm doing something true that's not the way it should technically be done too. And if that's the case, I'll hear about it. So that's okay. I'm glad to hear about it.
That looks wonderful.
Doesn't that look lovely? Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to just put a thin. Now, where can I do this?
Here, we're going to move this here. We're going to take that over here. Put that there.
My director here.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're just going to put a very thin layer of
Very
thin, because you want this to.
You want to leave enough of that cream for a nice topping.
Yeah, to go, or to have more as you build the layers. Now, obviously, if you wanted to, it doesn't have to be 100%.
No.
If you want to double this recipe and do it in a larger, like 9 by 13, that's perfectly acceptable and wonderful. You can also go taller and get like more layers, so you got like a high rise. This is when it starts getting fun.
Yeah, here, let's make sure everybody can see it.
So before we get started, the big mistake that is easy to do is to let these soak too long because they're so porous, they immediately absorb this.
Yeah, like that.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
That's it.
That is it. Mister. So I have to tell you a little history on this. When I was performing in the show Cats in Hamburg, Germany, many years ago, back in our previous performer days, and we had a very
he was Tumble Brutus.
Yes, and it was a very international cast. It was great. Hamburg was kind of like the Broadway of Europe at that point.
Yeah.
Anyway, there were these incredible Italian restaurants, and we had some great Italian performers in the show. and everybody made tiramisu. I always say it wrong.
Tiramisu.
And it just was just like everyone had like a thing of this in the refrigerator. So we kind of learned from them how to make it. From then, that was a long time ago. So
are you going to help or just talk?
Oh no, I'm regaling my time as a cat. It was something else. The one thing you want to do, and we're rushing through this, is because you don't want this to get too wet and too soggy, so kind of make sure you do get it off of you don't want your ladyfingers dripping too much because that liquid will then just sort of seep out as in the dish. Okay, I'm going to put another layer of this on, then we're going to put another layer of our ladyfingers. It's just fun to say.
It is.
And then we're going to chill it. I tell you what, let me just say this too. This is one of those things that you have to be a little prepared when you're making it. It's super simple, but you do need to prepare in advance. Like your cheese should be room temperature.
Yes. Speaking of prepared, we should have had more.
We will. I've got a lot more. We're gonna get. You need to make.
Did you just see me go look for them?
No. I was too busy talking about everything needs to be room temperature, including eggs, and then you need to let your coffee not be too hot, and then you're going to need to let the finished dish chill for at least 2 hours. We're going to suggest overnight. Okay, now I've talked my ladyfingers off.
I'm going to cut some more ladyfingers for the rest of that.
So then we're going to top, and then we're good.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're just doing this top layer. Oh, this is so good. I just love this so much. I think there's also a bunch of little tidbit things I'd like to tell you. So you may be thinking, where in the world do I find ladyfingers? Well, a lot of supermarkets, they'll have like a separate Italian sort of section of Italian ingredients. That's where I often find them, just in your everyday supermarket. If not, you can certainly find an Italian market, and they will definitely have them. And you can also order them online, which is, I'm going to provide a link so you can do that. I'll have that in the description.
That's fabulous. Now get over there a little bit.
Okay, so
here we go. Nice and thick layer. I love that on the towel.
Yes. So isn't that pretty? So now what it really needs time now is for it to set, and it just got to chill for that to happen. And we recommend doing this overnight. And
we used to do. I mean, you can do it for like an hour or two.
You can,
but I think for like a really solid setting, I would say overnight.
Overnight is best. At minimum, let's say 4 hours. Yeah. So think about that when you're going to be serving this to guests.
And make sure you guard that from any fingers that could be dipped in.
Yeah, because we've
late
seen
at night.
Somebody's had their lady fingers in here. Okay, so then we're going to, you don't dust it with the chocolate until right before you serve it. Okay, I think I've talked your ears off. Okay, here we are. It's the next morning, so we're going to have tiramisu for breakfast.
Yeah, I love it. I'll have a little coffee.
I know.
A little tiramisu.
They are eggs, so it's perfect. Okay, you can see this is just set really, really nicely. The longer you let it set, the better it's going to do as far as slicing and cutting. Now, I may be eating my words here in a little bit when I cut this, but okay, so now we've got some unsweetened cocoa powder.
Yeah.
And we're just going to give this a
very liberal. Come on.
Yeah, I know. We want to get it nicely covered, so I'm just going to keep on tapping this. And you may do this on like a cutting board or something, because you're going to have a little over the edges.
You know, when I first realized years ago that you used unsweetened cocoa, I thought, well, that's not good.
Why would you want that? I know. But it's so good.
It's so perfect, actually.
Okay, here's
Come on, Chris, you can do it.
It's my thing of the first cut. It cuts so deep.
Yeah,
all right.
So there you go.
We're going to do this
in the middle.
Wesley loves using the spatula to cut.
It's clean, and it goes straight down.
Okay,
there you go.
That's good.
All right.
It felt good. All right, now I'm going to do this. You guys, let's all
I love it.
Give me a little support here.
Oh, look at that.
So far, so good.
Wow. Now remember, the first slice is always like, whatever.
So you want to give
That'll be yours.
Thanks. Okay, here we go. And I'm just going to go in and then go down underneath and lift it right up.
There you go. Gorgeous. Beautiful. I think that might be mine. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
That's great, Chris. That's a big old piece.
I know. You could definitely cut this into 9 pieces. We were a little liberal with this. But
all right.
Okay.
This is a good one too.
We were kind of cut these pieces.
Oh, perfect. Big. Come on over here.
All right.
There we go.
You want to use your fork?
I'm going to use my fork and my finger.
Okay.
There you go. Go ahead.
I just love this dessert. It's so It's just.
Oh, there it is. There's all the. There they are. Look at that, y'all. Oh.
That's classic tiramisu. That looks really good. Oh wait, are we going in?
I'm still just looking at it.
I know, it's such a pretty thing.
I love it. All right.
I love those lady fingers.
I'm gonna go in and look at that, you guys. Look.
Oh yeah.
Yes. All right.
So
Shall we?
Let's have breakfast. I mean, you've got it all. You got your cream, you got your espresso.
Oh, okay. Well, this is yep.
That is good. That is good.
Look at you guys. Look at how good that is. Oh. I'm gonna say it. This is 1,000% Loon approved.
Yeah,
I love it.
So you know what? It's not an overpowering bit of amaretto that's in there. It just Some people, I've had it before with like, okay, I am drunk because you put so much whatever in there.
Totally.
I think it's the right amount.
Yeah, it is. It's so good,
you guys. We love you.
Make a tiramisu. It's a good drag name too.
Bye. Tiramisu.